also a few other things. So this is, by the time the mind is detached, I'm just sitting down taking counsel. I'm just listening to nature. Coming from this small little crack inside of the corner of this waterfall, I still try to figure out like what was going on in that crack, but I'm in this crack in the waterfall, and it's just elaborating on things. And say, here's another thing. It's about your energetic center. What's happened is that symbolically, what you need to do is you need to grab the cord, which is like your umbilical cord, and you need to like get all the way to the end of where it's connected. And I need you to look at what it's connected to, because it may surprise you. You may find that your cord of energetics is no longer tied into something that is serving you and serving the purpose of where your consciousness is at right now and ready to go to. So just check base. And I was like, hey, what do you mean? It's like, well, where's your arousal tied into? This is for all of us. Where's your arousal tied into? Are you aroused to be here? Are you aroused? I'm talking about real arousal. Are you aroused to be here? Are you aroused to hear these noises of this great world and great plane of existence? Does that arouse you? Or is the opposite pole the only thing that can arouse you? Is the opposite sex, if you may, the only thing that can arouse you? This was a question being presented. And it was like, because the reason is that we're not saying that anything is wrong. What we're saying is you've gone the furthest that you can go through that level of energetic potential. You've taken it all the way. And you've also even witnessed many so-called adepts who say they understand these sexual energies. All they've done is just go further and further the wrong direction. It's like they didn't get it. They're now trying to bring this into a physical orgiastic situation, when what we were explaining is you have to be turned on by nature. And however long that takes, because once you're turned on by nature, and this is common sense. Once you're turned on by nature, like a plug socket, once your umbilical is plugged into nature and you're aroused by nature, meaning what nature has to offer you is arousing you and not opposite sexes and all this kind of stuff. Now you've tapped into regeneration. Now you've tapped into the inexhaustible source. Now you've tapped into the energetic field that can power all of what you have infinitely, not just periodically. Because first we start you on the periodics. That's the periodic table. Now we start you on the periodics. The periodics is little jolts and boosts of the energy, small wombs. And this is for everyone, because you have both of these poles in you. Don't think just because you're female, this is now your perspective. Just because you're male, this should be your perspective. We're talking about straight androgyny in this. We have a male, we have a female, we have a Sushumna, we have an Iden, we have a Pingala, we have a Sumshumna. So we have this trimurti system. So being able to see yourself now and saying, well, what is arousing me? Because others, it's not even physical people. It could be video games. It could be all sorts of other things. And again, we're not saying anything is wrong. I'm just saying you've reached the conclusion of the energetic potential of what that has to offer, and it can barely power a third eye. If you do not want to be blind in the world that comes beyond this, if you want to have true sight there to see your way, see, because if you're blind in that world, you cannot see where you're going, so you don't know where to go. And whether there's guides or not, they say that there's guides. They say a lot of things. I'm just saying that to be sustainable, to move beyond even this guru thing, all of these planets, as we've been able to map out, every single planet, just like a person, has a situation it's dealing with. To move beyond that, you have to plug your energy in and know your energy is plugged in to more massive sources. I wasn't going to say inexhaustible sources, but as I'm practicing wisdom here, I'm realizing that the ancestors are stepping us up, literally, step by step by step. To plug into an exhaustible source, you need to know what you're doing already, and you need to be ready to go. You won't actually experience what people call life. I don't know how that'll play out for everybody else here. It wouldn't even be like it even matters. Once you're completely plugged into an inexhaustible source, that starts taking you first, through a regeneration process. So you go literally from being this old adult or elder or whatever you think, and then it starts rewinding. Now you're a baby, then you go back to the womb, then you come back through the other side of wherever you started out even before, as whatever primal form you were before. Then it goes all the way back down to a baby, and then you go back into being an element. Then that goes way back into being the baby of the elements all the way till you hit. And then at that point you exit out, and nobody knows about what goes on over there. Don't let them fool you, because you can't articulate it even in English. Everybody can take that way for themselves, but others cannot take others through it. Meet me there.